Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to invite you on a journey, not across continents, not through history, but inward. A journey into the quiet place where genuine transformation is born. We live in a world that teaches people to fix symptoms instead of causes, to polish surfaces while ignoring foundations, to demand results without developing character. But real lasting, meaningful change has only one direction: inside out. We often look outward for solutions. We try to improve our relationships without improving our patience. We try to change our circumstances without changing our habits. We demand trust without being trustworthy. We want success without discipline, happiness without gratitude, respect without humility. But life has a far simpler, deeper law. Who we are on the inside eventually shapes everything on the outside. Think about a tree. If its leaves are dry, you don't paint them green, you nourish the roots. Likewise, when our actions, relationships, and results are dry, we must nurture our inner roots, our values, our mindset, our integrity, our purpose. Let me share a simple truth. If you want small and temporary change, work on attitudes. But if you want deep and permanent change, work on character. Because attitude can shift with circumstances, but character guides us despite circumstances. We often underestimate the power of internal alignment. When your values and your behaviors match, you gain clarity. When your actions and your intentions match, you gain confidence. When your words and your commitments match, you gain credibility. And credibility is the foundation of influence. Ask yourself, are you trying to be understood before seeking to understand? Are you trying to manage time before managing priorities? Are you trying to improve relationships without improving empathy? Are you trying to change your life without changing your daily choices? Inside out means acknowledging that you cannot control the weather, but you can control your response. You cannot control people's reactions, but you can control your intentions. You cannot control every event, but you can govern your character. When we take responsibility for the inside, something remarkable happens. The outside begins to shift, not instantly, not magically, but steadily, consistently, predictably. Why? Because inner strength radiates outward. Inner peace calms situations. Inner clarity guides decisions. Inner discipline shapes destiny. You see, real change doesn't start with new scenery, a new job, a new relationship, or a new plan. It starts with a new mindset, a new commitment, a new standard, a new decision about who you choose to be. The inside-out approach teaches us that the greatest battles are fought in silence, in the space between stimulus and response, in the moments when no one is watching, in the decisions that seem small but shape the architecture of our character. Build the inside, and the outside will follow. Strengthen your roots, and your branches will flourish. Transform your habits, and your future will transform with them. When you choose to grow within, you unlock the power to change everything around you. So today, I leave you with one challenge. Stop asking, what must I do? Start asking, who must I become? Because when you become the person who is aligned, disciplined, purpose-driven, and principle-centered, success follows. Peace follows, opportunities are deepened, and life, your life, begins to unfold from the inside out. Real change begins from within, not from external adjustments, because the foundation of every action, choice, and relationship is built on what a person carries inside. People often try to modify their surroundings, shift their routines, or compel others to behave differently, believing that these external tweaks will create meaningful improvement. But change that starts on the surface remains on the surface. It may look good for a while, it may create the appearance of progress, but it rarely lasts because the internal drivers behind behavior remain untouched. When the same mindset, the same fears, the same insecurities, and the same habits stay rooted within, they eventually override temporary changes made on the outside. True transformation only occurs when a person turns inward and reshapes the beliefs, principles, values, and thought patterns that influence every outward behavior. When you develop patience inside, your interactions naturally become calmer. When you strengthen integrity, your decisions become clearer. When you nurture gratitude, your environment begins to feel richer even if nothing physical has changed. The internal shift creates a ripple effect that touches every external aspect of life. External change is often reactive. It responds to pressure, circumstances, or expectations. But internal change is intentional. It is guided by reflection, self-awareness, and a desire for alignment between who you are and who you want to be. When a person works on the inside, on character, purpose, and emotional strength, the outside adjusts automatically. Without forcing, without pretending, without temporary motivation. It becomes a natural result. Consider how people try to improve relationships by demanding better treatment from others, while never examining their own communication, empathy, or consistency. Or how individuals seek success by switching jobs, shifting plans, or chasing trends without strengthening discipline, focus, or long-term vision. External change may create movement, but internal change creates progress. The former shifts circumstances, the latter reshapes destiny. Working from the inside out requires honesty. It requires admitting weaknesses, acknowledging blind spots, and understanding the patterns that keep repeating in life. Many avoid this process because it is uncomfortable, but this discomfort is the birthplace of growth. When you become aware of your inner landscape, you begin to cultivate it, removing the weeds of limiting beliefs, planting seeds of empowering principles, and nurturing habits that support the future you want to build. Once the inner transformation begins, you no longer chase change, you become it. Situations don't control you the way they once did. People's opinions lose their power over your self-worth. Challenges that once felt overwhelming become manageable because you have developed strength within. You stop relying on external approval to feel confident or external conditions to feel peaceful, because these qualities now come from a deeper, internal source. Every lasting achievement, every strong relationship, every meaningful success begins inside a person before it appears outside. The invisible work precedes the visible results. When you shape your character shapes your life. When you elevate your mindset elevates your outcomes. And when you commit to inward growth, you create outward change that is stable, sustainable, and meaningful. Strengthening character creates lasting transformation because character forms the core of who a person is, shaping their decisions, reactions, and relationships. When someone focuses on building qualities like integrity, honesty, discipline, responsibility, and empathy, they create a strong internal foundation that guides every action. External achievements may come and go, but character remains steady, influencing long-term behavior and the direction of one's life. When character is strong, a person does not rely on temporary motivation or external pressure to act correctly. Their values naturally lead them toward better choices. Character-driven change is lasting because it reshapes habits from the inside. Instead of forcing behavior through willpower alone, a person begins acting differently because they are different internally. Strengthening character also builds resilience. When challenges come, a person with strong character remains grounded, adapting without losing their principles. This stability creates growth that endures across circumstances. Moreover, character influences the way individuals treat others, building trust, respect, and strong connections. It enhances credibility, which opens doors to opportunities that cannot be accessed through skills or appearance alone. When character grows, life aligns more naturally with one's goals, and transformation becomes not just possible, but sustainable. Inner values shape outer results because every action originates from what a person believes deep inside. Values act as the internal compass that guides choices, priorities, and responses, even when circumstances change. When someone's inner values are clear and strong, such as honesty, gratitude, fairness, or perseverance, their external behavior naturally reflects those principles. This alignment creates consistency, which leads to dependable outcomes in work, relationships, and personal growth. When values are confused or weak, actions become inconsistent, and results lack stability. A person's outer results often reveal what they prioritize internally. If someone values discipline, their achievements show structure and progress. If they value compassion, their relationships show trust and understanding. If they value excellence, their work reflects dedication and quality. Results are not accidents, they are expressions of the values a person practices daily. Inner values also influence how people handle setbacks. Values like patience and resilience allow a person to stay grounded during difficulty, making it easier to keep moving forward. Even when external situations feel uncertain, strong values keep behavior purposeful and steady. Over time, these consistent choices compound, creating meaningful and lasting results that mirror the strength of the values within. Alignment between intentions and actions builds credibility because people trust what they consistently see, not just what they hear. When someone's behavior reflects their stated values, goals, and promises, it creates a sense of reliability that others can depend on. Credibility grows when actions reinforce intentions, showing that a person is sincere, committed, and responsible. This consistency forms the foundation of trust in personal and professional relationships because it removes confusion and eliminates mixed signals. When intentions and actions are aligned, it becomes easier for others to predict how a person will behave, even in challenging situations. This predictability builds confidence and respect. People naturally follow and support those whose actions match their words, because alignment demonstrates authenticity. On the other hand, when there is a gap between what someone intends and what they actually do, trust weakens and credibility erodes. Inner alignment also strengthens self-respect. When individuals act according to their values, they feel grounded and confident, knowing they are living truthfully. This internal integrity improves decision-making and reduces stress because there is no need to pretend or justify contradictions. Over time, the combination of clear intentions and consistent actions creates a reputation of dependability, forming long-term credibility that opens doors, builds strong connections, and influences others in positive ways. Nurture roots character instead of polishing leaves appearance, because real growth begins beneath the surface, where qualities develop that truly sustain a person through life's challenges. Focusing only on appearance creates an illusion of strength, much like painting leaves on a weak tree. It may look impressive for a moment, but without strong roots, it cannot withstand storms or survive over time. Character, like roots, provides depth, stability, and nourishment. It influences how a person thinks, reacts, and behaves when no one is watching, shaping the foundation for every meaningful achievement. When someone invests in their inner qualities, integrity, honesty, resilience, humility, and discipline, their outer life naturally becomes healthier and more stable. Appearance may open a door, but character determines whether someone can stay in the room. Polishing the surface may bring temporary approval, but it does not create lasting respect or trust. People can sense authenticity, and they respond more strongly to inner substance than to outward image. By nurturing character, a person becomes grounded, confident, and consistent. Their decisions improve, relationships deepen, and opportunities grow because their actions stem from genuine strength rather than the desire to impress. Over time, the inner work produces outer results that are not only visible but meaningful, durable, and aligned with who they truly are. Focus on who you become, not just what you do, because your identity shapes the quality and direction of your actions. Many people measure progress through tasks completed, goals achieved, or roles fulfilled, but these accomplishments mean little if they are not grounded in personal growth. When you concentrate solely on doing, you may become efficient yet disconnected from your deeper purpose. But when you focus on becoming, on developing character, wisdom, and strength, your actions begin to reflect a higher standard of thinking and living. Who you are on the inside determines how you approach challenges, handle pressure, and treat others. Becoming focuses on long-term transformation rather than short-term performance. It is about cultivating patience, integrity, resilience, and empathy, qualities that influence everything you do. When you grow as a person, your actions naturally rise to match that growth. Success becomes more sustainable because it is supported by a stronger inner foundation. You no longer act out of fear, insecurity, or the desire for approval. You act from clarity and conviction. When identity leads action, your choices align with your values. You begin creating results that reflect your true potential. The person you are becoming shapes your relationships, your ambitions, and your daily decisions. In the end, the most powerful changes in your life come not from doing more, but from becoming someone capable of living with purpose, depth, and authenticity. Inner discipline drives outer success because it provides the structure and consistency needed to turn intentions into results. Success in any form, personal, academic, professional, or relational, requires steady effort, and discipline is the force that keeps a person moving even when motivation fades. It shapes habits, strengthens focus, and helps maintain direction when distractions or obstacles appear. Without discipline, goals remain wishes. With discipline, they become achievable steps that compound into meaningful progress. Discipline begins internally, in the quiet decisions made each day, choosing responsibility over comfort, commitment over excuses, and long-term growth over short-term pleasure. These small, consistent choices build momentum. When discipline is strong, it becomes easier to follow through on promises, meet deadlines, maintain healthy routines, and stay true to personal values. This reliability creates external success because consistent effort, applied over time, produces visible outcomes. Inner discipline also shapes how a person handles setbacks. Instead of giving up or losing direction, discipline helps them adjust, adapt, and continue forward with resilience. It turns challenges into opportunities for improvement rather than reasons to quit. As discipline strengthens, confidence grows because a person learns to trust themselves to act even when conditions are not perfect. Over time, this inner strength becomes the driving engine behind sustained success, transforming effort into achievement and potential into reality. You cannot control everything outside, but you can control your response, because life is filled with circumstances, events, and people that operate beyond your influence. Weather changes, plans fall apart, others behave unpredictably, and challenges arise without warning. Trying to control these external forces leads to frustration and stress, because the more you attempt to manage what is uncontrollable, the more powerless you feel. Real power begins when you shift your focus inward, recognizing that your response is the one thing that always remains within your control. Your response determines the meaning you give to a situation, the emotions you experience, and the actions you take next. Two people can face the same difficulty, yet their outcomes differ, because one responds with panic or anger, while the other responds with patience and clarity. When you choose your response intentionally, you reclaim control over your behavior, your attitude, and ultimately your direction in life. By controlling your response, you develop resilience. Instead of being shaped by circumstances, you shape your approach to them. This mindset transforms obstacles into learning moments and uncertainties into opportunities for growth. Your response reflects your character, not your conditions. Over time, this internal control strengthens confidence and emotional stability, allowing you to handle life with greater balance and purpose, regardless of what happens around you. In the end, true transformation begins from within. Lasting change, meaningful success, and authentic relationships are all rooted in the strength of our character, the clarity of our values, and the alignment between our intentions and actions. By focusing on who we become rather than merely what we do, nurturing our inner roots instead of polishing outward appearances, and exercising discipline over our choices and responses, we create a foundation that shapes every aspect of our lives. The outer world may remain unpredictable, but the person we develop inside determines the quality of our experiences, the depth of our connections, and the impact we leave behind. When we commit to the inside-out approach, we move beyond temporary fixes and surface-level improvements, cultivating a life of integrity, purpose, and resilience that naturally radiates outward, transforming not only ourselves but the world around us. Thank you.